Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we have a banger matchup. Honestly, this game could easily be like a semi-final or even final matchup within the world finals. So we get a treat right here: Stmn versus Reject. If you're unsure on who these guys are, Stmn are just land demons. They're so incredibly strong when it comes down to this format. And of course, they've got Bobby, Sans, and Cute Sans on the Bobby, Zor and Cute Sans on her team, sorry. And then of course on the side of Rejects, they've got Levi, who's an up-and-coming player who's absolutely insane. They also have a Charpy, of course, two-time world champion. And then I think the other one's Memmi, I think off the top of my head. I completely forgot. But anyways, going into pinhole punt then. So if you guys are wondering what's kind of going on here, it's last chance qualifiers and this is day number 2. So the winner of this match will go to the world finals. So again, like, we're missing out on such an insane team here, not being able to make it towards the world finals, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's just how it goes, especially with only 12 world teams at the moment. Anyways, draft is unfolding before our very eyes here. We've got pinhole punt, a Buster first pick, definitely not Brawler, which I would say that East Asia are kind of accustomed to in their type of meta. That's probably, they've probably took Buster away from Stmn because of course Sans played such a beautiful Buster yesterday. We see the bans as well, by the way. It's Nita, Rosa, and Ems on the side of Reject, and then Fang, Crow, and Max. So a really good targeted ban of the Max. No matter what, they just tend to go Max in East Asia, even though it doesn't work out most of the time. It's just their type of brawler. So they go with Cordelius as a second pick, which is actually starting to become very prominent within the meta. And they go with this Stu as well. So one thing I kind of noticed with their composition, you know, Cordelius and Stu, they're I would say they're not really the best matchup against the likes of Squeak and also the Sandy, whilst we've seen a lot of times, again, Sans on the Sandy is very, very strong. So I think by compositions, I don't know, I like both of them. Like, both of them have its strengths and its weaknesses. I feel like overall for control, that Stamina's got a better composition. But of course, Rejects are just absolutely insane. So it's going to be a very, very intense matchup for sure. Also, I only watched like one round of this entire game, so I'm kind of seeing it for myself for the very first time, but it's not in real time, so that's probably why I won't be as like excited or on edge as I normally am. But that's a double stun there from Sans, and already 2 people down from Reject, starting things off very fast here. Stamina, and we're already pushing them back all the way into spawn. So if you're wondering as well, you know, Gale, I typically say, is one of the worst brawlers in the... Oh, a triple stun there from Sans. Yeah, Gale is actually starting to become a little bit more prevalent within Brawl, mainly just because, again, if you're unaware, the kind of rule set here in BSC, just into world finals, all hypercharged brawlers, so the likes of Shelly and Spike, are banned completely. So that's just allowed tanks to be a little bit stronger. So that's why Gale is just a little bit of a better option here. It's actually pretty good on this map, mainly because there's a lot of walls to use your super, and also just to kind of check the bushes as well. So it can be pretty decent going into tanks. See here, Reject already getting back some control. We've got the Shallow Realm available. Sans getting his super down. Sandy recently with a buff as well. Definitely a lot more stronger, I would say so myself. Charpy should be able to finish this one in, and somehow, how on earth did that go in? That should have been an easy goal right there. That is something you don't really see too much from Rejects, maybe making a little bit of a mistake, or at the same time can be Sans clutching it up. But again, Sandy's going to be even stronger now, because I think, actually no, Sans isn't using the extra gadget gear. I was going to say, but Sandy has 4 stuns, which of course is absolutely insane. But that's going to be basically a triple kill from Reject right here. Levi should be able to slot that one in, and Reject go 1-0 up. So definitely a very strong start from them. I think in my predictions, I'm sorry, Stamina, I did go with Reject in my predictions, and a lot of people have been kind of flaming my predictions, but trust me, this is the closest it's ever been. Sans with the stun right there. I don't know what's happening with the ball, but it doesn't matter, they get the cleanup as well. But yeah, as I was saying, the day 1 was insane. Like, nobody got their predictions right. It literally, every single match was pretty much a 50-50, except for like Group D, I would say. That was probably the most clear-cut one. All the other groups, literally... so much could have happened. It was very hard to predict, basically, but you should have been able to get the rewards anyways just by voting the MVP a few times. That's what I normally do as well, because yeah, my predictions were pretty terrible. Normally they're decent. But that just goes to show the level that is on display at LCQ, one of my favorite ever events. But anyways, we see Sans getting the pinch there with Zar, and now you can see this positioning, which I absolutely love, by the way. Just all three members of Stamina in the bush, ready for overtime. We have the Sandstorm going down as well, which is going to give him a lot of control. We've got Zar with a super as well if needed. Memi throws out a Shadow Realm. He's going to go very low, and that's going to be Stamina with a very patient and beautiful build-up. I love that about them, especially holding that Sandstorm. A lot of people do get that wrong. A lot of people just throw out the Sandstorm pretty early and then just lose it. Of course, you want to play in overtime, give yourself that positioning. And Reject just don't have, I would say, the crowd control or the spray to scout out anyone in the Sandstorm. You've got Stu, single shot. You've got Cordelius, very, very limited range. And of course, a tank. So you're not going to get the most scouting capabilities there. A Charpy, again, a little bit of a misplay there. I thought he could have probably scored there. Again, that was probably a good play from Bobby as well. Just hanging back, making sure he doesn't get pulled in by the Buster gadget as well. But I still think that should have been an easy goal because Buster had so much HP. There should have been no way that they were able to defend that one. He should have just probably walked that in a little bit longer. Charpy with a nice block right there. Manages to get the kill onto Bobby. But we'll see here, Sans just playing beautifully on the Sandy time and time again, and you can see he's just cycling pretty well. Zar's going to get pretty weak. I'd say the Gale's not really doing too much right now. Like, I think another brawler could have done a little bit better. I guess it was just a bit of a safety block against them. Charpy with a really good gadget right there. Memi's going to go in onto Bobby, and Sans again. No, I was about to say, does he manage to get a 3v1 clutch there? Does get two of them, but doesn't manage to get the third. And Rejects actually go 1-0 up again. I just feel like it's just a pressure from the Sandstorm, just overall the teamwork right here that should be able to prevail Stamina if they can manage to overturn this deficit in Brawl Ball. Zar with a push back right here. Is he using a stun or a slow? I've not been watching him this entire time, really. Okay, he's using a slow. I was about to say that he's not really been getting some good connections. I guess the slow is pretty good, especially in the middle, just to keep them back, of course, and get an easier pinch onto Buster. Sans right here walks that one in with the stun, and that's just why you can't allow Sandy in those positions. But again, he's got another Sandstorm. He's just cycling them like crazy. Charpy pushes in, but that's going to be a pushback from the Gale, and that's some beautiful teamwork right there. Pushed right into Sans' line of fire with the damage gear popped as well. Levi with a very important clear that could have easily been disastrous for them. Bobby with a connection onto Levi's manages to take him down. Still got gadgets left after 2 minutes worth of gameplay, which just goes to show just how strong Squeak is right now with the addition of the extra gear, extra gadget gear, sorry. And now again, the same that's kind of happening in the first game of the set. All three members of Stamina, they're grouped up in the grass. The Sandstorm goes down a little bit early this time. I guess he knows he can get the cycle off against the Buster. Memi with, I won't really say the best Shadow Realm rallies. It's pretty hard for him to get any kills on these guys because a lot of them are kind of mid-range. They can actually outrange Memi, and also as well, they're quite tanky, so Cordelius can't just brainlessly run into these guys. The miss Squeak super, but that's going to be a pinch onto Cordelius. The Charpy can't really do too much, and all members from Rejects are going to go down, and Stamina are going to go 1-0 up. You absolutely love to see it. Santa's getting so hyped, and they're just playing it beautifully. They've hardly done anything wrong right here. I think they've got a beautiful composition. They're able to take home the first set. Let's jump into set number 2. Alright guys, so now jumping into set number 2, we have Gem Grab Last Stop. So this hasn't been played too much, I believe, throughout LCQ, and it's a brand new map to the competitive pool. I don't mind it so much. It's actually pretty decent. I think at first everyone was a little bit scared, but I think it offers a lot of variety. So you see the bands here. We see Mortis, Crow, and Meg banned from Stamina, and then we see Rosa, Buster, and Crow banned from Rejects. So you can see that those are the best first picks because that's what Rejects banned, and we see the Squeak being picked straight away. So Squeak still is one of the best brawlers in the game easily. The residue gadget is just so strong, and they go with a max. So I don't really like that. There's a lot of better mids on this map. There's 8-bit, there's Lola. Trying to think off the top of my head. There's just 2 that are in play right here that are definitely better than a max mid. You know, even Piper, Nanny. There's just better options out there than a max. Just max doesn't cut it right now. I think the only really reason you've got a max is maybe to counter several sharpshooters, or to get a really good synergy with the likes of Sandy, Jean, Tara. But we'll go with the Otis. So Otis is a pretty strong brawler in the meta right now. It's actually been drafted a lot, mainly because, of course, tanks are just more prevalent in their kind of meta. And even if you play Power League, for example, and like Shelly and Spike Crow are banned, then Otis is a good alternative. He's got the range, especially for the map like Last Stop. It's a very bushy map with a lot of long line of sight. So of course Otis is just going to get more value there as well. And Stamina, who are they going to go for? Okay, they go with a Lola. So Lola has been played a lot more, I would say, on this map I've seen recently. I think overall she's just good at scouting the left and right lane. Lola's also pretty good against tanks if need be. And they go with a Gale again. Okay, they must know something not many people know. Gale again on this map. I guess the thing about Gale is that at least you can scout the lane right. If you go left lane, there's literally no chance anyone creeps up on you, right? Because your whole attack literally is the width of the bush. So I guess he's got that going for him. And they must be really scared of a tank last bit, considering they've got a Squeak, which can get countered. They'd still go with a Fang. So I guess they're just going to get their matchups right. If they get the Squeak on the Otis and then Gale on the Fang, they should be pretty good to go. And Lola should easily be a max mid, especially once you start cycling your egos. Max just doesn't have the DPS to deal with it anymore, or even HP. Seriously, I don't know why they keep drafting Max. I think this is the one thing that's been going really wrong for East Asia at the moment. We had like Team Flash, and we had well, Team Flash wasn't technically East Asia, but at the same time it was, because it had 3 Japanese players. And then Chasmac EA, like, they're clearly some of the most gifted mechanical players in the game, but they just tend to go these weird drafts, which I just don't understand. It just feels like NA and EU have got the better drafts overall. They've just got it more clued on. But I mean, as I say, that Levi was able to take down Bobby quite quickly right here, which I guess, I don't know how he actually got so weak. I wasn't paying attention. But once he gets his egos, he should be good to go. Zar is running a slow again here. They're kind of unsure where Achape is lurking right here. He's kind of flashing his super, but the thing is, he can't really super on the Gale because he can just use a Twisted Gadget. See another fat splatter from the Otis there, but Sans should be able to win that matchup pretty easily. Achape with a bit of a missed super, but again, it's hard to kill a Gale. Like, how can he kill a Gale with a knockback, with a twister? It's going to be hard for Fang. He needs to try and switch our matchup as quickly as possible. And also, Fang's not good at scouting, so Zar's got a lot of HP here. He can just use his presence here to push up. And now this is looking pretty hard. They need to switch matchups, but they're still keeping on the same here. We've got a max speed, which might be able to give him a little bit of pressure. Choppy nowhere near his super again, though. Maybe he's going to get down. Sans is just playing insane, by the way. Like, every time I've watched him, like, I know this guy sweats the game ridiculous amounts, but, like, he is putting in work at the moment for Stamina, especially considering, like, his brawlers he's been playing aren't really the hard carry brawlers, but he still seems to be winning his lane, putting the pressure on pretty much the entire game. And still, they're not really getting him out of the grass. Eventually, Chape gets Gale down, but Sans is still in the bush, getting a lot of pressure. Bobby's forced back here with Fang pushing up. Chape is going to get into a decent position. Elisa can push him back a little bit there. Eventually, Sans gets pinched out, but I mean, that is just beautiful from Sans. Even though Chape is in their grass, he's able just to get the 2v1 as well up his side. He's going to get Memby down as well with a super. Wow, that is an insane connection, and that's definitely what they needed, because that was some really good pressure from rejects. Levi uses a great max speed there to get it out of danger. I don't know how he's still alive here, by the way. He's managing to collect a lot of gems, and that's a beautiful Squeak super again. He's actually running a slow there. Memby's going to be pretty weak as well, and that's going to be a lot of pressure for Stamina. Now they're able to get the 11th gem. Sun's going to jump back in, and wow, the Gale actually shredding through that Fang there. That was very surprising to see. Now the 12th gem going to Stamina, and they're able to prevail in the end right there. So for me, I don't know, the Fang just wasn't really doing too much. Like, even though Fang is one of the best brawlers in the game, I just think it's a lot harder to pull off a Fang against pro players. They know not to group up to give Fang that extra value when he supers from one brawler to another. I just think without his super, which sometimes, again, it's really hard to get a super against pros. It's just easy to take down, and they've got a complete wrong matchups every single time there. So Sans popping the gadget right here, so I guess they're finally swapping the matchup. I'm unsure why it took them so long to switch the matchup. That's one of my biggest pet peeves when I watch pro gameplay. I know sometimes you might get caught up in a moment, but if you lose your lane against a bad matchup, so for example, if Achape, And I know he's a pro here, but this is just one thing that annoys me as a spectator. Say if he loses his lane against Gale, he just needs to switch to the other matchup. Of course, Squeak's going to be a much better choice. They need to just swap as fast as possible, because there's no point going into your hard counter time and time again. You're just not going to win it. It doesn't matter if you're the best player in the world. Like, Stmn have got some really decent players as well. So, looks like Zar's going to force the matchup right here. And this is exactly what I love to see. He forces the matchup onto the Fang. Now, Reject have already got 7 gems to 0. And this is what I'm talking about, like getting that right matchup. Fang still gets the Gale down here, which really well played from him. But he's going to eventually go down to the Squeak and just in time. And now Sans can push up. Got Memmi just controlling the right side so easily right here. I don't think the Gale has really been doing too much this time around. Charpy is waiting for that super. I was about to say that's going to be an easy takedown onto him, but Sans with 3 quick shots, able to get a connection. A beautifully timed dash from Levi right there. So that means the Squeak slow from the super doesn't actually connect in time, which was just beautiful. But it looks like Reject's going to run away with things right here with 10 seconds left for Stmn to try and get a reset, but it's just so hard to get a reset on gem grab. So that's going to be Reject taking this next game of this set. And wow, this is very, very intense. I've been trying to give you guys as much insight as possible. It's just back and forth pretty much all of the time. I think the Otis, Memmi on Reject played that really well. He didn't really do anything wrong that game. I think he kept his lane the entire time. And when someone is in that bush and you know they're there, it's just so much pressure, especially with any type of brawler with a good super. You know, Otis, if he's lurking in that right side all of the time, it means Bobby can't really go up and collect gems the way he wants to. So again, they got the wrong matchup. Cesar, again, he's looking to try and push over that right side as quickly as possible right here. It's kind of going back and forth, because I think his teammates must have been calling out that they should be able to get the Fang down. Anyways, San just stays alive, manages to get the Otis down. Not too sure why Charpy is not just going in there. I mean, that was a free kill surely on Sans right there. Again, he goes down in the end, manages to get his super back, but he should have just done that a lot quicker in my opinion. He would have been able to get the quick takedown, and he would have got his super back because he was within that threshold, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, he's got his super. Again, he's going to go in, but again, dashing into a Lola. I don't know, I'm just seeing a different side of a Charpy right at the moment. Like, a Charpy is absolutely insane, right? He's one of the best players easily of all time, but he's just making errors which I wouldn't really typically see from him. And Stmn just capitalizing really well, playing as a team. Bobby's going to shred a Charpy down there so ridiculously fast. And it just seems the meta's just suiting them at the moment. They're able to get such a strong foot in this game right here. But let's see, 13 seconds left. Bobby could have gone for that gem, but you don't really want to risk it when Zar is Gale. He's able to get a lot of defensive pressure, and now with the clock running down, it seems like Stmn are celebrating right here, and they're able to take the second set. So wow, that is still pretty convincing from them. Now let's hop into the third set. Okay, so jumping into the third and potentially final set here. Could Stmn sweep another East Asia team? They did it with Crazy Raccoon at ESL Masters Japan a few months ago. Can they do it again? That would be absolutely insane, considering like these guys have been near enough untouchable for a couple of years now. Like, I've got a lot of bias towards East Asia because of course they've won back-to-back world championships. It was a double East Asia final. Last time in the world finals we had Zeta 0 versus Zeta 1, so they've just been running all over Brawl Esports at the moment. So I mean, I hope Stmn win just for the fact that Brawl Esports can be a lot more open and competitive. You know, it's never nice watching like your favorite sports or esports and just knowing the outcome every single time. That's what it felt like in the past few years. But now it's up in the open. Anyways, Kaboom Canyon, we see 8-Bit, Crow, and Gale banned from Stmn. So they're trying to ban one of their favorite brawlers. We see Colette being picked up. We see Cordelius and the Squeak. So I don't really like that from Reject. Again, they just feel it feels very limited in range. And then we see the Bonnie, Nanny, and Crow banned from Reject as well. So Colette, always pretty strong brawler. Again, I'm not too sure about Cordelius. I guess Cordelius is good against tanks and whatever else, but you don't really go too many tanks at Kaboom Canyon. Normally, like control or just kind of chip damage will win you the games in a map like Kaboom Canyon, and they go with a Buster here. So Buster That's a pretty brave pick in my opinion. Buster can be pretty good on this map if you get into the mid bush. But the thing is, he doesn't really deal too much damage. I guess he's just there to try and clean up, especially against like Squeak and Cordelius. He's pretty good against both of them. He can just pull them in and take them down pretty swiftly. And then the third pick coming in here, they need some... I don't know what they need, to be honest, because I've got Colette for damage. I'll go with Jessie. So Jessie's a decent one. It can deal with tanks. It can deal a lot of damage to the high safe, of course, once you use your gadget. It can be pretty good overall. So quite clearly from the reject composition, they need a damage dealer. Like Cordelius, Squeak, that's not going to deal you enough damage. They can go Piper, they can go Brock, they can go Bell. I guess Bell doesn't really get you the damage either. They can't really go like a Carl, because Carl gets countered by both Buster and Colette. I don't know, they're in a tough situation here because I don't know, I don't really like it. I just don't really like that composition whatsoever. They go with a Brock, which I guess can get a lot of damage onto the safe, but the thing is, there's still a lot of HP for them to try and take down. Like, it's going to be hard for them to keep control against like a Colette using 4 gotcha gadgets, a Buster just running at you all game. It's going to be a very close one in my opinion. So going into the third set here, I'm hoping for a last set kind of thing here. Hopefully, like, Reject can take 2, and then it'll be like a double match point for both teams. But eventually, we'll get into the game here, and let's see what really happens. So again, Bobby's just going to run in here. He can just do what he really wants against these guys. Swift takedown onto Levi straight away. I didn't really expect that. I'm not too sure what Levi was really doing there. He wasn't trying to shoot or whatever else. I guess he was just trying to build up his super without being detected right here. We see Menmi using his rocket laces down the left hand side, and we can see already how things are planning it out. Sam's going to shoot the safe, but he needs his super. I guess it's a pretty good from Reject, the fact that they're turning it into a base race straight away. In terms of pure damage, without supers, and then of course Rejects are going to have the upper hand here. They have Brock, they have Cordelius, which both of them actually deal a lot of damage to the high safe without their supers. So you can see here, already stamina losing by 50%. It's going really bad. Levi, he uses the jump to his advantage here, and somehow... How on earth did he just get that kill with that? He manages to jump over and then just take him down really fast. I thought Colette would easily be able to finish off that kill. Menmi with a great Brock super. He's able to thread the needle as well with the last shot. And wow, I was not expecting that. Considering the composition, that was really well played from Rejects. That is more the Rejects that I wanted to see, making it really... messy, turning it into a base race. I think that's quite clever because they know by their composition they can't win the long game. They need to end things pretty quickly or else they won't be able to win the game overall. I mean, saying that, like, Colette doesn't have the best matchup against any of these guys, but we see Zor time and time again pop off on the Colette. We see Sans here trying to get his turret, which he didn't manage to get last time around. Menmi already in the corner, but that's a much better takedown. We need to just get him out as soon as possible. You can't... The thing is, you can't leave Cordelius or Brock and Reject know that, so they can just use that to their advantage and try and get in as close as possible. Levi gets his super as well. At least Stamina know that Levi isn't using mute, so at least they can somewhat run into it. Cordelius, a great takedown there from Bobby. Nearly goes down actually to the Squeak, and Reject again getting so much damage. Menmi's playing this beautifully, by the way. He's managing to sneak in every single time. I don't think I've seen a more aggressive Brock in my life. Levi using the jump to his advantage as well, and already a 50% lead. I don't really like that Shadow Realm right there because he was already pretty weak. Zal managing to get a super onto the safe, and wow, Stamina really looking terrible right now. I mean, I was quite clearly favoring the other composition, but now, okay, this is where things could get dangerous, especially with Rejects in spawn. Zog going to cycle, he missed a safe, or was he trying to cycle a super right there? It doesn't even matter because he's able to get so much value with a gotcha gadget, and he's pretty much able to get a triple kill right there, which is insane. The Jesse turret sped up, just dealt so much damage, and also I think there was a super there to block the damage incoming onto the Jesse turret, which was just insane synergy right there, and Stamina are able to take that one. Wow, they were down like 70% or something ridiculous, but you just seen the power of Jesse turret, the power of Colette supers. I think there was a couple onto the safe there there was a lot of damage going down, and Reject just kind of ignored it. They didn't really have enough to take down all of those things. So now going into a match point scenario here for Stamina. I mean, the thing is, like, it's crazy to sweep Reject, but we kind of need to, because if you give Reject any type of momentum, they will take it, especially with how strong they are. But that's a much better start this time from Stamina, but not allowing Brock or the Cordelius to sneak in, especially with the jumps. We see another residue go down, but it doesn't really matter because Buster can just lurk in the grass. He's not really being threatened by any of these guys. Sans gonna get hit a few times, doesn't manage to get the Jesse turret down, but unfortunately he gets taken down as well, so he can't use his gadget to get that extra damage. Bobby's doing a great job here of just keeping the pressure. Doesn't have to deal any damage to the safe. He just has to buy enough time to allow Sans to run back up. And look at that, like, Sans died and they lost no ground because Bobby was able just to stay in such a threatening position. Again, he's just making sure that each lane is locked down. I'm unsure why, I guess Brock's using the other gadget, but I would have really loved to see like a super or something break open some of the walls here, because Bobby's just getting so much value. Again, he knows he can't just deal damage to the safe, so tries to get the kill on the biggest damage dealer, which is Menmi. But still, Rejected down 40% here. They need to turn things around pretty fast. I guess they can still with their composition, considering they've got Brock, who can deal a lot of damage quickly. Squeak with his super. That's a missed super there from Menmi, which could really come back to bite him right here. Acharpy's managing to get Bobby pretty low right here. For some reason, just runs into Bobby, even though he was one shot. Don't really like that play too much, but Levi's able to make a lot of space right here. Menmi with a great super onto the safe, managing to get a lot of damage, but Zor's pushing him back really well. Levi with another great Shadow Realm right there. A lot of damage going down onto the Stamina safe, and it's looking pretty close right here with only 30 seconds left. Literally neck and neck. I can't call this. This is so incredibly close. Sans looking for that turret though. He's pushing him back. Looks like both of these guys are pretty weak. Sans actually gets the takedown right there. Manages to get his super in time. 15 seconds left. Manages to dodge a few shots as well. Levi's on the safe, but all members from Stamina going up. Bobby's managing to get a lot of damage, and also the Jesse turret was just sped up so much, and Stamina were able to get the sweep. And that is one thing that not many people would have predicted. Like, a lot of people went back and forth with Stamina and Reject, but no one would have saw a 3-0 sweep. Stamina looking so dangerous. I mean, I didn't expect it. I expected, like, Reject to win 3-2. Like, no disrespect to the Stamina guys. I just thought with the amount of experience, with a double world champion on the other side, it's just hard to ignore the facts. But, wow, now going into the world finals, Stamina looking honestly like one of the favorites outside of Crazy Raccoon and Zeta. Stamina looking like easily one of the favorites right now. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure to check out the Brawl Esports channel if you missed the VOD. Literally, we had 4 banger games, and you can see that waving the golden tickets. You love to see it. There's just nothing more satisfying than all of your hard work paying off in the end. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.